Uh-oh. Hey guys. So I'm just pouring a final seal coat on the bottom of this bar top. That's what I've been working on here. See if I can flip this around. There we go. So this is the bottom side of a bar top that I've been working on. Yes, now you exist. Yeah, I had to focus on getting the epoxy mixed and poured. So I thought you might like to see how that's done. So the bottom's kind of rough. It's the main goal of the bottom part of the slab with the epoxy pour is make sure the through pour here, like the fill, is transparent, which you can see all the way through to the bottom without bubbles. Make sure that's nice and clear over there and over here. And at the same time, making sure the grain is sealed all the way across. So make sure that all of the wood grain is completely sealed and encapsulated. The bottom side, or the bottom side it is now, that's going to be the top. There's the epoxy. We don't want that. You see the bubbles right there? We need to get rid of those bubbles. But the main goal of this seal coat here is just mainly to seal the bottom and to make sure the bottom here is clear and completely see-through. So the way to get rid of these bubbles is with a heat gun. You'll see. Goodbye bubbles. But like I said, this is the bottom of the bar top, so it doesn't have to be perfect. It's probably going to come out fairly decent, but it really doesn't matter. As you can see here, these bow ties, the main reason I put these in here was because this slab has two crotch sections here. And if I tried to pour epoxy in these sections, the epoxy would have just poured out the side on both of those. So I did a complete through inlay of this, oh, stream lost. Am I still with you here? So the reason for these bow ties, most importantly, is to act as a dam for the epoxy that I poured into these crevices here, into the crotch section, because otherwise it would have poured out to the side. And so I had to put these bow tie inlays all the way through the whole slab, which I used a router and several different bits to get that to work. So I got those bow ties inlaid in there, which enabled me to pour the epoxy into these channels without the epoxy coming out the other side, which I think kind of added a little bit of a character. So I think it's pretty cool. We got an ash slab here with two crotch sections in it and two cherry bow ties completely inlaid all the way through to the other side. And this is going to be a bar top for a customer. So once this is dry, as long as the top still looks good when I flip it over and I didn't have too much over pour, then it should be pretty much all done. And then my next project is these maple boards here that are all cut and kiln dried. And those are going to be some shelving for another customer that I'm going to be working on next. So the next plan is to cut those down, plane them, sand and finish them, and get them ready for some floating shelves. But I got several projects after that. I have this red cedar here is going to be it's going to be an urn for a friend of mine whose dog passed away, and I'm going to be building that box for him. It's a lot more wood than I need, but I wanted to make sure I had plenty to choose from so I can get the best of the best for that project. So we get that red cedar set aside for that. So lots of woodworking projects. So yeah. So what do you guys think? I'm trying to stay busy here. See if I can find a good place to. Yeah, so that's what I have going on in the shop here. And as far as in the shop, and quite a bit going on outside the shop, of course. So I don't know if you've been following along with on the Instagram with the cabin build that we've been doing up north. So it's been a while since I've done a live stream. Well, actually, it was what, last week or two I've done one, but I've been wanting to put out videos, but the time I've had to edit has been very slim to none. So figured I was in the process of pouring some epoxy on this, so I figured I would go live to show you guys how I do that. Building any furniture for the cabin. So I'm going to be building. One of the things I need to work on is designing some Murphy style bunk beds. So I want to build some bunk beds that will fold up into the wall. So it will allow us to give us some places for sleeping, but at the same time we can fold them up and allow us to have some more space in the cabin for sitting and hanging out and that sort of thing. So I'm planning on building, I've already started building the loft up above, which is going to allow for probably 2 people, probably small people, kids, to sleep up above in the loft. And then on the main section, I'm going to build 2. So on each side, I'm going to have bunk beds. So on the left and right side of the cabin, I'm going to have 2 bunk beds. And so the top bunk will fold down to become the backrest for kind of like some seating. So the bunks on the bottom will be kind of dual purpose. So it'll be like seating and beds. And the top bunks will be beds, and when they fold down, will become kind of like the back of kind of like a couch type setup. And then I'm going to put some tables in between those, so it'll be kind of like, you know, benches in between the 2 benches on either side of the fold. And I'm going to put a fold out table underneath the loft. So it's pretty tight. It's a pretty small cabin. It's 10 by 10, so it's pretty small. So I have to get kind of creative with the space on figuring out space for sleeping and same place space for like kind of just lounging out. So there'll be 2 bunks on either side, 2 bunks on one side, 2 bunks on the other. They'll fold up and down. And then there'll be a table in the middle that will fold up and down. And everything will convert from seating and tables to beds. So there should be enough by the time I'm done to be able to sleep at least 6 or 7 people. So that should be more than comfortable enough. And my plan is to eventually build more 10 by 10 buildings on that property, because the building permits in that area, anything above 10 by 12 requires a building permit. Anything less than that doesn't. So as long as I keep every building I build under 10 by 12, I don't need to pull a permit. So I can keep building. That's why I built this building so small, is I don't have to go to the town and ask for a permit. I can just build it and keep going. And I'm going to do that I'm going to build a bathhouse with like a toilet and a shower in it. And I'll build kind of like another house to like hang out in and that sort of thing. So that's my plan. Oops. My phone over here. Let's see if there's any questions. How much? Can't get this thing to sit right here. Chris, how much property do you have? So up north we have just under 13 acres. The front part of the property has some wetlands on it, so there's some challenges there to cross the wetlands to the back part of it. So the front, like 1 acre of it, there's some wetlands there along the back part of that. And then once you get beyond that, there's like another 10 acres behind that that's like slightly sloping up towards the back, and it's really nice developable land to work with. So I do plan on building, initially at some point I planned on building a steel cable suspension footbridge, which I've been working on plans for. So I won't probably get to it this winter, but in the spring, summer next year, I want to build a suspension bridge over the wetlands to get back to the back part of the property, so I can build some more buildings back there, so we can kind of expand our camp up there, which I think is going to be pretty cool. So I've been looking at some snowmobiles for the winter, which will allow us to be a little bit mobile on that property. Once everything freezes with the wetlands, I should be able to drive over the wetlands with that and get back to the back part of the property to start kind of clearing and getting ready for spots to build other things when the spring comes. Hey, Bill Hansen says hello from Warner, New Hampshire. Hello from Bradford, New Hampshire. Thanks for joining us, Bill. So, Bill, if you haven't been over, we have a shop down here in Warner, up on Main Street, in the same parking lot with Pizza Chef and Dunkin' Donuts. My wife runs that shop. She has a gift shop, and we sell wood and other kind of handmade crafts. So definitely come over and check it out. I'm going to check on the wood stove for a second. And now I have to check on this slab to make sure there's no bubbles. All right. See. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of share with you guys what I was working on here. Live edge bar top. This is ash, and the bow ties that are inlaid here are cherry. I thought that kind of darker wood would accent the lighter wood kind of nicely. Bill says, yes, I need to bring you some blades to sharpen. Yeah, we definitely sharpen blades for a lot of different sawmills around here. We got a pretty good blade sharpening setup. I had a hard time finding a place to have my blades sharpened, so I decided to just set up a good setup for sharpening my own. And apparently it was in high demand, so I have a lot of people asking me to do the same for them. But as you can see, the bottom of the slab is rough cut, of course. If this was going to be the top, I would pour another coat over this for a final flood coat, so it would be a lot smoother, which the top is. But this is just to seal the bottom. So it kind of encapsulates the whole slab in epoxy. But I think this is going to be a pretty nice bar top in the end. It's a pretty unique piece of wood. It's kind of the double crotch section up here. So yeah, I'm pretty much done with this at this point. I want to do some more videos. I got some kind of videos recorded that I need to edit, and hopefully we'll get some of those out soon. I know it's been, what, about a year since I really put out a video, kind of a legit video on anything I've done, but we've had quite a bit going on over the past year. We kind of built up the business at one point where we had 5 or 6 employees and myself, and we were all working pretty steadily, and things got pretty busy, and then went the other direction, and now things are died down a bit, but still busy enough to keep me busy. So I still got quite a bit of work. This is just one project of many that I'm working on. Like I said, I have these maple boards here for some shelves that I'm going to be building. Red cedar that I'm going to be building an urn for, and so many other things after that. Boxes, tables. I got to build a chicken coop for someone. So quite a bit of random different things. So stay tuned for those things. And I appreciate you guys joining in and kind of watching this process here. Keep an eye on the Instagram. I'll post some final pictures up once this is done in the next day or two. So you'll see that coming up, and as well as progress on our next projects. But it's getting late. I better get off to bed so I can get up early and get back to work. So thanks guys for hanging out and chatting. Chris, Bill, Jared, JP Woodwork, Wahawk, Mikey. Thanks, guys, for all joining on and at least stopping by and saying hi. And we'll see you guys on the next one, hopefully. Stay tuned.